Mga punto de vista ho nitong si Attorney Ferdy Topacio at nitong si Attorney Salvador Panelo ang ating pag-uusapan dito sa video na to. Tapos ho sumegway ho tayo dito sa mga paliwanag nitong si Attorney Edward Chico kung maganda bang ideya na idirektang isuko sa ICC itong si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Pero bago yan, isang like at isang subscribe, masaya na ho tayo dyan, at sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community, yung join button nandyan lang ho sa baba. Para sa mga pinklawan, dilawan, talyanista, ensaymada, heto ho mga kababayan, kilalang dilawan, pinklawan na abogado ang magpapaliwanag dyan sa usapin na obligasyon ba ng Pilipinas na direktang isuko, ipadala sa ICC itong si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Mas maigi na kasing itong si Attorney Edward Chico na magpaliwanag. Ayaw ho natin magbida-bida, di naman tayo abogado eh. Kaya nga pinapakinggan natin dito yung mga punto de vista na magkabilang panig. DDS na abogado at itong pinklawan dilawan na abogado. Ito ay walang bahid ng kulay. Ika nga, kung ano lamang ang nakalagay sa batas, ito lang ho ang ipapaliwanag nitong si Attorney Edward Chico. Palakpakan ho muna natin. Lagi natin pinapanood to. Natutuwa ho tayo sa mga jokes ito. Ito, pakinggan ho natin ito mga kababayan. At pagka nagawi tayo dun sa lugar nitong si Attorney Chico, subukan ho natin yung restaurant niya. Di umano, doon daw nagkakapalitan ng duffel bag eh. Nag-react si Atty. Chico. Baka sakali, masarap yung pagkain doon. Pagka nagawi tayo doon sa restaurant ito, subukan ho natin yan mga kababayan. Game!
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Maraming nagte-text sa akin, Attorney. Baka naman pwedeng ipaliwanag mo sa amin itong usapin ng ICC. I do not claim to be an expert, pero naituro ko to on several occasions at na-research ko maigi. So ganito po yan. Kung maalala nyo, di ba si Duterte nag-withdraw siya unilaterally sa ICC kasi nga iniimbestigahan siya. So ang Korte Suprema sa kaso ng Pangilinan versus Cayetano, ni-resolve yan. Dahil multi academic na-recognize naman yung withdrawal natin at ang ICC ni-recognize din yan. Kaya lang ang caveat ay ito. Sabi ng ICC, pero sa mga krimen na nagawa ng miyembro pa kayo, may jurisdiction kami. And in that same Pangilinan case, sabi ng Korte Suprema, may residual obligation tayo na i-honor yung jurisdiction na yon. Meaning, sa mga kaso na naganap ng miyembro pa tayo sa Rome Statute. But take note yung pronouncement ng court na yan, honestly, by way of obiter dictum lang. Ibig sabihin, opinion lang by the...
obiter dictum, di ho natin naiintindihan yan. Si Attorney Chico lang ang makakapagpaliwanag niya. Kaya para doon sa mga dilawan at pinklawan na ayaw maniwala doon sa pagpapaliwanag ng ibang mga abogado na dapat talaga dumaan sa local court yung mga warrant na yan. Ito na ho, si Attorney Chico, Edward Chico magpapaliwanag dyan.
The way, wala dapat bilang. Bakit? Ang main issue po kasi doon sa kaso ng Pangilinan, yung unilateral withdrawal. But be that as it may, maraming mga abogado na lumalabas kasi gusto nilang panagutin si Duterte o pinipilit nila meron tayong pananagutan, i-recognize natin ang jurisdiction ng ICC. So yun yung mindset. So ngayon, ang ICC, naglabas na nga ng warrant of arrest laban kay Bato. So isa lamang ang tanong, pwede bang diretso na siya sa dahig, hindi na dadaan sa korte rito? So maraming mga tao, dahil gusto siya talagang mahuli, ang sinasabi nila, meron tayong batas, yung RA 9851. Kapag ang isang kaso iniimbestigahan, pinoprosecute na ng isang international tribunal, pwede natin i-surrender yung tao na yon. Totoo naman yon, kaya lang may kolatilya sa Section 17. Hindi ko maintindihan ba't hindi dinidiscuss yun. Nakalagay doon, subject to applicable extradition laws and treaties. So ano ibig sabihin? If pursuant to RA 9851, may surrender ka per extraditable offense, di dapat titignan mo muna na dadaan siya sa local process dahil yun ang proseso na extradition.
Yung pala yun eh. Dapat pala dumaan muna sa tamang proseso. Yan ang ginagawa ni Melvin Matibag. Nagbabarena doon sa GSIS building papasok ng Senado. Para saan yun?
Ngayon naman, kung siya inaaresto dahil sa Rome Statute, di dapat dadaan siya sa provision din ng Rome Statute. Sa Article 59 ng Rome Statute, interestingly, ito po yung sinasabi.
Ano sabi?
Kapag sila ay may inaresto, hindi naman kinakailangan dalhin agad sa kanila. Dapat daanin muna sa local judicial process.
Kailangan palang idaan sa local judicial process. Yun yung iharap sa competent judicial authority. Parang yun, no? Yun, yung hindi ibinigay na pagkakataon kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Yun ba ang tinutukoy mo, Atty. Chico? Na dapat tumaan sa competent judicial authority itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na hindi ginawa ng Ay, naku po, yari tayo dyan. Ngayon, yun din ang gusto nilang gawin kay Senator Bato. Pagkahuli, diretsong Villamor, lipad papuntang Dahig. Anak ng Petrang Garapata. May problema ho talaga tayo dito sa administrasyon na to. Ungguyan ito, ungguyan.
Para matiyak yung karapatan niya, makita yung validity ng warrant, among others. So sana po, naging malinaw po yan ha. Again,
Malinaw.
wala po akong kulay, but that's actually very, very
Meron kang kulay. Attorney Edward Chico, fans ka ng Boston Celtics. Meron akong kakilalang fan din siya yan Fanboy din Nakadamit ko kasi ng championship Boston Celtics tong si Attorney Edward Chico. Oh.
clear.
May
Ngayon,
kulay
kung
ka.
maliman ako, yung
Go green! Go green! Ito, pakita ko. Naka-go green siya. Go green! Sara Duterte talaga tong si Attorney Edward Chico kahit paanong pang pagbali-balik ta rin ang mundo. Pagka iniwa mo yung balat natin, Attorney Edward, magkakulay na. Hindi, joke lang. Hindi ka, baka magalit kong si Attorney Edward Chico, no? Yan, kilalang pinklawan, dilawan yan, di ba? Yung problema lamang kasi mga tropa mo, Attorney Edward, hindi sila nakakasundo. Si Bam Aquino, si Barry Gutierrez. Pagbatiin mo kasi yung dalawa para medyo maganda yung atake nila sa 2028 dito kay Lenny o kaya kay Risa. Di ba?
kung kaso na lang sa Korte Suprema ang makakapag-resolve niya because only the Supreme Court can settle that issue. So sana naging maliwanag lang po yung sinasabi ko po na yun. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Attorney Edward Chico. Palakpakan natin. Mahusay. Klaro yung paliwanag. Ngayon, pagka hindi pa naiintindihan ng mga pinklawan-dilawan yun, alam na this, di ba? Yung mga tao, kung gusto nilang intindihin, madali lang. Pero kung ayaw nilang intindihin, kahit ano pang paliwanag mo, dahil nga sarado na ang utak nila, gusto lang makitang lumipad, padahig itong si Senator Bato de la Rosa, yun talaga pipiliin nila. Kahit na magmukha pa tayong katawa-tawa sa international community dahil dyan sa kagustuhan nila na yan, di ba? Na magpasailalim sa banyagang korte at magsuko ng isang Pilipino na kung saan hindi dadaan sa proseso. Yung kidnapping ang datingan, yan, okay lang ho sa mga individual na yan. Ngayon, kung ayaw nyo pong paniwalaan itong si Attorney Edward Chico, bahala kayo dyan. Rerekta na ako dito kay Attorney Perde Topacio. Puro abogado itong mga papanoorin natin dito sa video na to. Tayo lang ho yung hindi abogado. Okay, Attorney Perde Topacio. Sok pa. Wala sounds.
Okay, Attorney Ferdy, on Wednesday, there were reports that Senator Bato de la Rosa will be arrested or they will attempt to arrest him again Thursday. Do you have any news if this is accurate?
There are so many rumors flying about that we do not know now which are true and which are not. But we are clinging to the latest pronouncement of the President that there are no orders, no standing orders at least to arrest Senator De La Rosa if there may have been one before.
According to a BNC informant, Senator Bato left the Senate premises before 4 a.m. today. He was with Senator Robin Padilla, allegedly. Can you confirm if this is true?
I cannot confirm or deny that because the last time that I was in touch by phone with Attorney Jimmy Bondoc, your colleague here at BNC, I was informed that Senator De La Rosa was still within the Senate premises. That was last night after the power came back on in Parañaque. But of course, I do not have any later information than that, whether or not he is in the premises. But if he has indeed left the premises, there is nothing wrong with that because there is nothing that will restrain him from remaining in the premises or nothing that will authorize his arrest once he leaves the premises.
We are showing scenes here in the aftermath of the shooting inside the Senate building. These were posted online by Attorney Israelito Torion. Can you describe to us where this is, that door being shown, where does that lead to?
I have seen doors like that, a lot of them, within the Senate building as a frequent visitor. Because for the information of the public, the premises of the Senate are within the GSIS compound or the GSIS building, where it shares a common building with, of course, the GSIS. So they have a common wall. And On those walls are some connecting doors. So
Yeah.
that could have been any one of those connecting doors.
Okay. So, ang katabi niya, GSIS building, which is probably why si Senator Amy Marcos posted yesterday on her social media that kasalukuyang binabarena na nila ang pader ng Senado. Or did that mean that they were shutting, like dinidrill nila to keep the door shut para hindi makatakas si Senator Bato? Or meron bang mga NBI na binabarena nila para makapasok sa Senate?
I have no personal knowledge of that, but I have also seen pictures wherein there are personnel supposedly from the National Bureau of Investigation with drills, with hand drills, holding hand drills. So I believe that the information given by Director Matibag that there are no NBI personnel there is totally false. In fact, an organic personnel of the NBI was arrested and is now in police custody.
Yes, which brings me to that question, because yung naging mga putukan yesterday, the gunshots that were allegedly fired by the person that is now in the custody of the police, ang identification nila so far is that he's an NBI driver. Based on your assessment, bakit? Why would an NBI driver fire shots inside the Senate?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. Hindi kaya driver ni Laila de Lima yun?
Yari, naloko na. Ito talaga siya. Attorney Ferdy ikaw talaga, ganon.
Anyway,
Okay.
anyway,
Biro.
no law enforcement agency has any business, has absolutely no business being within the premises of the Senate or outside of the premises or the compound of the Senate for the purpose of arresting Senator De La Rosa, because there is no standing local warrant against Senator De La Rosa. The ICC warrant that for Mr. Trillanes has been banding about has no force and effect in this jurisdiction. It is a mere scrap of paper. So I don't know why they're trying to arrest it or why the former Senate President, Tito Soto, colluded with them to try to arrest Senator De La Rosa.
Well, based on what you said, that this is just a mere scrap of paper, that's actually what DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla also said, that the ICC warrant of arrest that was being shown by former Senator Trillanes in Senate is an unenforceable document. When former President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested a year ago, the government said that it was because they were complying with their duties or their commitments for the Interpol, because there was an Interpol red notice. In this case, mukhang wala pang Interpol red notice. So, going back to that question, why was the NBI trying to arrest Senator Bato de la Rosa on Monday with just an ICC warrant of arrest?
I have actually absolutely no idea. I know about as much as you do, and that is exactly our point. Number one, the statement of Secretary John Vic Remulla exposes the hypocrisy of the present government. They have differing standards for the same situation. Now he says that the ICC warrant is unenforceable. Nonetheless, they enforced it against President Duterte. Now, with respect to the Interpol red notice, it is very clear, and you can fact check me on this. Even if there is an Interpol red notice, you just go to the website of the Interpol to see the guidelines being observed in implementing a red notice. It says there very clearly, and this is accessible to anyone, that number one, the Interpol cannot compel any country to abide by the red notice. And number two, any red notice or any international warrant, not only from the ICC, but from any agency or any foreign court, is still subject to the domestic laws of the country where the person to be arrested may be found.
Okay, so kahit na sabihin natin magka-Interpol red
Yes,
notice,
opo.
it's not a basis to arrest, in this case, Senator Bato de la
Yes,
Rosa.
and now Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano is right. only a warrant from a local court may be recognized not only by the Senate but by any law enforcement authority.
So,
Because
kailangan
that is the
pumunta
law.
sa local court.
That is the law as stated in the Constitution, as stated in treaties, as stated in PD 1096, and even in the law that they are brandishing to supposedly justify the arrest of Senator Bato, which is Republic Act 9851.
There are some people that have criticized, including the people I interviewed, lawyers, Attorney Mon Esguerra and Attorney Neil Tupas, who said that they felt that NBI went beyond their authority in the manner in which they went to the Senate on Monday at nag-inspect pa sila ng mga kotse. Do you think that they went through that extent of even inspecting cars, trying to find Senator Bato de la Rosa to prevent him from voting on the leadership change in Senate on Monday?
Yes, definitely. It was really a case of overreach and abuse of authority. What business do you have in trying to prevent a sitting senator from going to the offices of the Senate and exercising his functions, especially in the absence of an enforceable warrant, of a warrant that can be enforced within Philippine jurisdiction? So I must humbly suggest to the Senate that after this entire brouhaha is over, that there be an honest-to-goodness legislative probe on Mr. Matibag, on the NBI, and other personalities, including possibly former Senate President Tito Soto, as to his role in this fiasco, in this carnage.
And kung maaresto man si Senator Bato de la Rosa, do you think this will lead to another leadership change in the Senate? Kasi mawawala na yung 13. But before you answer this question, we'll have to take a short break at the forefront.
Yun.
Welcome back at the forefront. We continue our conversation with Attorney Ferdinand Topacio. Attorney Ferdy, should Senator Bato de la Rosa be arrested? Kung sakali man mangyari yun, do you think this will lead to another leadership change in the Senate?
Only and only if there will be another majority that can muster 13 votes. Because as things stand, there were 9 votes in favor of retaining former SP Soto, 2 abstentions, and 13 in favor of now SP Alan Peter Cayetano. Even if the minority wins over the 2 abstentions, there will be still 2 votes short of 13. So it does not mean that when the 13th voter, the 13th senator that voted in favor of leadership change is arrested, that will nullify his vote. That vote has been cast, it is there, and it stands until another 13 votes are acquired by a new majority.
Okay, so since pinag-usapan natin kanina na right now, the President himself said that he has no order to arrest Senator Bato de la Rosa, if the NBI arrests Senator Bato de la Rosa without a court order being issued along with the ICC warrant of arrest, how do you think that would be enforced? Would that be legal?
Well, the arrest would not be legal without a local warrant. Number 2, if the NBI or any other law enforcement agency does that, definitely it will make our president look like an idiot because he says that he has no orders. He told them, I've seen the clip of the president, he said, he asked the NBI to withdraw after the Supreme Court has issued an order giving the government 3 days within which to answer the new motion with manifestation filed by the main lawyers of Senator De La Rosa, and that is implicit in that statement that the government will await the ruling of the Supreme Court. By the way, I would like to disabuse the minds of the public that the temporary restraining order as prayed for by Senator De La Rosa has been denied. It has not been. In fact, it was very clear in the briefer given by the press officer of the Supreme Court that such action of allowing the government to reply or respond to the motion and giving Senator De La Rosa another 3 days within which to file a reply or rejoinder is without prejudice to any interim remedies that may be necessary in the interregnum.
Okay, what type of interim remedies can be obtained by Senator De La Rosa, considering walang TRO na binigay yung Supreme Court?
Well, the Supreme Court may opt to instead issue a status quo ante-order, meaning to say that the party should observe the last situation before the motion was filed, which is that there is no warrant and therefore any arrest implemented against Senator Bato would be absolutely illegal under Philippine laws.
You previously said that Senator Bato de la Rosa will comply if there is a local warrant issued by a local court. Will that happen, do you think? Magkakaroon ba dito ng local warrant pursuant to the ICC warrant of arrest?
I cannot second-guess the courts in the same manner that I wish to clarify that I'm not second-guessing the Supreme Court when it comes to the remedies being sought by Senator De La Rosa. But the issuance of a local warrant is dependent upon following the procedure as laid down by the law. And the laws
Anong law ba yun sa'yo? Kasi marami nang sa site na laws dito, RA 9851 is what others say to justify daw na pwedeng isurrender ng Pilipinas si Senator Bato to The Hague.
In my humble opinion, they say, that opinions are like assholes, everyone has one. But my humble opinion on this matter is that RA 9851, especially the provision that they invoke, which is Section 17, cannot be taken in isolation. In fact, even by itself, it mentions certain standards to be followed, either in surrender or extradition. For one, it says that a person found within Philippine territory may be surrendered or extradited pursuant to applicable extradition laws and international treaties. Now, what is the extradition law? The extradition law is still the 1977 vintage Presidential Decree 1069.
Of President Marcos
President
Sr.
Marcos Sr., which was promulgated by then President Marcos Sr. By virtue of his authority under Amendment 6 of the 1973 Constitution, which gives the President lawmaking powers contemporaneously with the Batasang Pambansa. Okay, there is a new rule of procedure implementing that, which was issued by the Supreme Court only last year, which basically hews closely to 1069. Why is that? Because a procedural law cannot override or go against or repeal substantive law.
And I hate to cut you, Attorney Ferdy, because kunikulang na tayo sa oras. So, in short, you're saying that if we follow the applicable laws, which would require extradition, kailangan sundin yung proseso for extradition.
So that very briefly, the procedure would be the ICC would course the warrant through DFA, a certified warrant, not the one being brandished by Mr. Trillanes, and then the DFA, it will check the requisites. If all the requisites are there, it will endorse it to the DOJ. The DOJ will ask the special counsel to file a petition for extradition in the regional trial court. There will be a process, a brief hearing according to the 2025 rules. It should be finished in 30 days. And then if the judgment of the RTC is averse to the extraditee, it can be appealed to the Court of Appeals, which will render a decision in 90 days. Always, and in the final act, any warrant of arrest to be enforceable against Senator De La Rosa should be issued by a local court. That is the Court of Competent Jurisdiction being mentioned in Section 2 of Article 3 of the Bill
So,
of
ibig
Rights.
sabihin, if we go by the letter of the law, the applicable laws that you're mentioning, then mahaba pa talaga yung proseso and walang basihan yung NBI to continue their attempts to arrest Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Walang basihan. If I were the government, I would just let the procedure take its course. They should initiate it right away if they want to expedite proceedings. There's the DFA, there is the DOJ. Umpisahan na nila, mag-file na sila ng extradition petition.
Well, Attorney Ferdy, just this morning sumulat si Senator Amy Marcos sa kanyang kapatid na si President Bongbong Marcos asking that certain officers, including NBI Director Melvin Matibag, be relieved pending investigation. So we have here the temporary relief sought by Senator Marcos, Senator Amy Marcos. So, palagay mo ba aaksyonan to ng presidente? And to a certain extent, do you think that the NBI chief, the director, is acting without the blessing or authority of the president? Kasi meron mga nagsabi rin na siguro naman hindi siya malalakas loob ng ginawa niya nung Monday kung walang utos from the taas.
I will presume that initially he had the blessings of the president. If he did not have the blessings of the president to coordinate with then SP Soto and try to effect the arrest of a sitting senator even within Senate premises, then he should be reprimanded or even dismissed by the president. Now, he has the blessings of the president, then he has withdrawn the standing order to arrest Senator De La Rosa, as may be implied from his latest statement, then he should be at least temporarily relieved because there is now a crisis of credibility. And if the president, if he wants to retain whatever little credibility he has left with the people, should take immediate action and show that he is serious in protecting not only the rights of Senator De La Rosa, but the rights of every Filipino.
But bakit nga ba NBI instead of PNP? Because last year it was PNP that carried out the arrest.
I have no idea. Hindi ko malaman kung umiepal si Matibag o inutos ng presidente o may nagpapabibo. I really don't know. Your guess will be as good as mine.
And finally, what would be the effect on the Philippines as a country if the Philippine government refuses or fails to surrender and arrest Senator Bato de la Rosa to The Hague?
Nothing, because we are no longer, we have withdrawn in 2019 from the Rome Statute. We must recall that a similar warrant was issued against Putin of Russia. But Putin went to first Mongolia, which is still a member of the Rome Statute. They did not arrest him. Of course, there were some sanctions being attempted by the ICC. And then in 2025, he went to Tajikistan, which is also a member of the Rome Statute. They also refused to arrest him. There were sanctions made, but those sanctions have not been imposed because there is due process there. In our case, there is absolutely no sanction that can be enforced because as of 2019, we are no longer with the Rome Statute. So, I don't know kung bakit itong mas maliliit na magbansa may self-dignity, may self-respect, may sense of nationalism and patriotism na hindi sila nagpapadikta sa foreign court. Tayo parang natataranta tayo na hindi bali na magkapatayan ng Pilipino at kapwa Pilipino eh. Masunod lang yung gusto ng foreign court na illegal naman.
And finally, Attorney Ferdy, kung sakali ba na dito file ng kaso si Senator Bato de la Rosa for EJK killings? Because, for example, the CIDG initially issued a subpoena for him to appear there in relation to their investigation on EJK killings. They later withdrew this, but kung sakaling dito i-file, haharapin niya ba?
Of course. Very clear naman po ang stand na ng senador. Dito, for all his official actions na sinasabi nilang allegedly illegal, criminal, he wants to be taken into account kung meron mga liability dito sa sarili niyang bansa. Bakit ka huhusgahan ng banyaga?
At kung merong warrant na ma-issue ang local court in relation to a case filed here, will he surrender himself?
Of course, definitely. Well, he has no choice actually in the matter. And being a lawmaker, I'm sure he will abide by whatever domestic legal process is issued against him. But ang atin lang, kung meron man siyang warrant, that should write fini to the ICC warrant because if there is already a jurisdiction being exercised over him by a local court, that should take precedence over a foreign court.
Ang galing ho nitong si Atty. Ferdy Topacio, palakpakan ho natin. Di ba? Mahusay talaga tong si Atty. Ferdy. Lipat ho tayo dito kay Atty. Salvador Panelo. Game!
Sa ng gobyerno sa Senado, lalo na po yung mga nangyari kagabi, Attorney Sal.
Yang mga yan, yung kawalan ng paggalang ng mga ahensya, ang kawalan ng respeto sa Senado, yan po ay silang ang tinuturo niyan. Failed governance, bigong pamamahala ng nakaupo sa gobyerno. At ang tinutukoy natin, ang pinaka-puno, ang presidente ng bansa.
Palpak!
Kasi kung ikaw ang presidente, yung mga nagaganap ngayon dyan sa Senado, hindi mangyayari yan. Number one, kung marunong kang mamahala. Number two, hindi rin mangyayari yan kung wala kang inutos. O, di ba? Sapagkat yung mga ahensya, yung NBI na yan, yung ano pa, DOJ, yung PNP, yung Army, hindi naman gagalaw yan ng walang go signal ang presidente. So kung merong gulo at hindi mo napapahinto yan, ibig sabihin, bigo ka bilang presidente ng bansa. That's the long and short of it.
Yes, Attorney Sal. Samantala, dako na po tayo dito sa itong mga pinakabagong nangyari dahil speaking of kautusan, Attorney Sal, ay iginiit ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. na wala siyang iniutos na operasyon o paghuli kay Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa sa loob ng gusali sa Senado. Nanawagan din ang Pangulo sa publiko na manatiling kalmado kasunod nga ng insidente ng putukan sa loob ng Senate premises nitong Miyerkules na ng gabi. Si Kerseline Catarong magbabalita. Attorney Sal, bali nagtataka yung mga kababayan natin kagabi kasi nga po nagkaroon na ng special coverage. May nakita ng mga umano'y mga miyembro ng nakasuot ng NBI, Attorney Sal, pero doon sila dumaan sa may bandang GSIS building kasi nga premises din po yun ng GSIS at doon sila gumawa ng parang binarena nila yung pintuan doon papasok sa Senate. So nagtatanong ang karamihan, Attorney Sal, sino kaya yung mga nandoon kung hindi yun taga NBI?
Alam po ninyo yan. Isa lang ang ibig sabihin yan. Una-una, bakit pa nagkaroon ng kaguluhan doon? Ano ba ang punot dulo niyan? Ang punot dulo niyan ay merong isang warrant of arrest na gusto nilang ipatupad. Yung warrant of arrest na yan, ipatutupad yan ng law enforcement agency. Yang mga law enforcement agency, hindi basta gagalaw yan nang hindi muna itinatanong sa nakatataas sa kanila. So nakakataas sa kanila, magtatanong yan sa pinakamataas. Ano bang gagawin natin dito? Kasi hindi naman ordinaryong warrant of arrest ang pinatutupad. Ang pinatutupad ay isang warrant of arrest na paksain sa Korte Suprema. Alam natin na mayroong petisyon sa Korte Suprema na kini-question nga ang ginawang pag-aresto kay Presidente Duterte gamit ang warrant of arrest issued ng isang dayuhang tribuna. Alam nila yan. Dahil may question na nga at wala pang decision dyan, dapat ang presidente ng bansa, dahil hindi po pwedeng, yung sinasabi niya, walang instruction, walang ganito. Unang-una, dapat nga may instruction ka eh. The instruction should be stop everything in connection with the enforcement of this warrant of arrest because there is a pending legal issue on the validity of this kind of warrant of arrest. Kung akong presidente yung kagad, huwag nyo nang pakialaman muna yan. Antayin nyo ang desisyon ng Korte Suprema. Diyan nagsimula yan eh. Pero dahil wala kayong ginawa, Mr. President, ganyan na nangyari. Nagkanya-kanya na. Kasi kung sinasabi mong may instruction naman ako na huwag kayong pumunta ron, pero nagulo pa rin. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka sinunod. Hindi ka sinusunod ng mga tao mo. Kaya, kanina sinabi ko na nga, the long and short of it means failed governance, bigo ang iyong pamamahala. Either hindi mo alam kung anong dapat mong gawin bilang presidente or hindi ka sinusunod ng mga sinasakupan mo. Kaya magulo. Kasi kagabi lang nagkakagulo. Sabi niya, pinatawag ko kinausap ko kasi kung ako presidente, tatawagin ko yung mga heads ng law enforcement agencies, pag-aagalitan ko sila. At papalitan ko kagad sila dahil hindi nila sinunod yung instruction ko. Di ba? Walang na. Yan ang problema. Kaya magulo tayo.
Yes, Attorney. At yun nga rin ang naganap nga putukan doon sa Senado, parang nag-deny na silang lahat kasi ang sabi nga nila, yung nang una daw is yung alleged NBI. Pero sinabi naman din ng NBI sa pamamagitan ng kanilang director na wala naman daw silang i-deploy na tao doon sa Senado. At ganun din yung sinabi ng PNP kasi nandun sila sa labas ng premises, Attorney Sal.
Gaya na sinabi ko, hindi mangyayari yan kung in-stop na nila ang pagpapatupad ng isang questionabling warrant of arrest na nakabinbin sa Korte Suprema. Ganon lang kasimple yun eh. There is a pending case on the legality of that kind of warrant of arrest. Therefore, it behooves this president to stop all actions in the enforcement of that questionable warrant of arrest. Ganon lang kasimple yun. Wala, hindi niya ginawa. Kaya, nagtagulo.
Ayan, maraming salamat po, Attorney Sal. Samantala, sa panig naman po ng mga senador, Attorney Sal, yung after nung plenary nila na session, Attorney Sal, yung mga ibang senador, lalo na po yung mga miyembro ng minority senators ay nauna na po raw na umalis at na yung naiwan nga ay yung mga nasa majority. At nagtataka din po yung mga kababayan natin kung bakit daw sila nauna. Kasi nga, yung iba ding senator na naiwan doon sa loob ng Senado kasi nga po may ginawa din silang caucus doon sa pagpupulong nila. Sinabi nila na meron daw nagtip sa kanila na dapat umalis na daw sila doon sa premises dahil mayroon daw magaganap nung gabing yon. Pero hindi nila magawang iwan kasi nga po hinintay din nila yung articles of impeachment. So unexpectedly sa part ng Senado, mga senador na naiwan doon, yun po talaga yung nangyari. So ano pong reaction niyo po doon sa isyong gano'n?
Yung mga umalis na nasa minority, simple lang yun, dinatakot. Ano ba matawag mo doon? Natakot. Yung mga nagpaiwan, matatapang. Hindi sila natinag sa kanilang katayuan doon sa loob ng Senado. Ganun lang yun.
Ayan. At sa iba pang balita, Attorney Sal, after ng mga nangyari ay formal na nga ang isinumite ng Kamara yung articles of impeachment laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte nitong Miyerkules din ng gabi sa gitna nga ng tensyon na nangyari sa Senado sa loob ng kanilang gusali. Bandang 7:20 ng gabi nang ihatid ni House Secretary General Cheloy Garafil yung mga dokumento na tinanggap naman ni Senate Secretary Mark Mendoza. Bago nito, napaulat nga na nagkaroon nga ng putukan sa pagitan ng mga armadong grupo na nandoon, mga Sergeant at Arms at sa mga Philippine Marines na nasa Senado. Pero nauna ng kinwestiyon, makalipas nga na ilang minuto, pinayagan nga rin sila makapasok after nung nangyaring putukan. Depensa naman or nauna ng kinwestiyon nga ni Senadora Amy Marcos yung umano'y mabagal daw na pagpapadala ng Kamara sa impeachment articles at sinabing hindi makatwiran ang dahilan na kailangan pa daw itong paramihin dahil marami namang resources ang House of Representatives. Depensa naman ng House Public Accounts Committee Chairman na si Terry Redon, nais daw lamang nilang masigurong nasusunod yung lahat ng guidelines ng Korte Suprema at due process matapos nga naibasura noon yung unang impeachment laban kay VP Sara noong nakaraang taon, Attorney Sal. Pero yun nga, marami rin din na nagtatanong ng mga kababayan natin na bakit daw pinatagal. Hindi na lang agad na dinala sa Senado at least before nung nangyaring insidente, Attorney.
Unang-una, ano naman kung matagal na dumating ang articles of impeachment. Kahit na isang linggo pa, ganun pa rin yun. Dadala pa rin at tatanggapin. Yun namang excuse naman ng isa, tinitingnan pa nila, mga kalokohan din yun. Para pareho na lang, nakakayamot ng... wala. Yung articles of impeachment, darating at darating yan. Ito namang kaibigan mo si Ivy, gagalit, bakit daw ang tagal? Samantalang yung minority nga, kine-question nga nila yan, ayaw nga nila yan impeachment. Dapat nga matuwa sila dahil hindi pa pinadadala. Puro mga balat kayo kasi. Basta lang makakuha lang ng pagkakataon na mamidya, okay, mapanat yung mga yan. Puro publisidad ang nasa isip ng mga yan.
Ayan.
Ang dapat pag-usapan nyo, anong gagawin nyo ngayon?
Mm.
Questionin nyo ba? Kasi nung kayo nasa minority, sabi nyo, yung oppose nyo. Yan ang gawin nyo. Kung anong opposition. As I said, in my commentaries in this program, ang pwede nilang gawin, number one, sabihin nila, hindi muna tayo magpupuntin dyan. Kasi meron pang petition sa Korte Suprema na tini-question nila yung legalidad ng ginawa ng Committee on Justice. So, kung sila yung mag-convene at ituloy na ng paglilitis, baka mapawalang saysay lamang yung articles of impeachment. Di useless. Gumastos ka na, naubos ang panahon mo sa paglilitis ng walang saysay. Kaya tama yung gagawin nila kung yun ang gagawin nila. At kung mag-convene naman sila, pwede rin naman pag-usapan pa rin nila. Ito ba ang impeachment complaint na ito? Siyempre, dapat pag-aralan mo kasi yung mga judges sa lokal na hukuman, bago sila mag-issue ng warrant para makuha na yung akusado at simulan mo na ang paglilitis, pinag-aaralan muna nila yung demanda. Meron bang probable cause? Ganon din ang impeachment court sa tingin ko bilang abogado. Trabaho niya yan. Pag-aralan nyo, tingnan nyo, meron ba? Kasi I'm sure halos lahat ng abogado sabihin, hindi, sabi ng Constitution, as soon as you receive the articles of impeachment, you convene and proceed with the trial. Hindi naman ganun. Alam po ninyo, ang Constitution naman hindi kailangan sabihin ng bawat galaw mo. Meron palaging general statement yan. Gagamitin mo na lang dyan ang sentido comum mo. At saka yung mga i-complement mo yan doon sa mga nauunang provision ng Constitution. Ang pinakagiya mo dyan, yung due process. Due process. Pangalawa, titingnan mo dyan yung rules on determining whether there is a valid complaint or not. Yan, trabaho ng korte yan. Kaya pwedeng sabihin nila, pag nag-convene, halimbawa, nakita nila na wala naman saysay ito, puro politika lang to. Pwede nilang ibasura kagad yan. Siyempre, maraming kukontra sa sinasabi ko ngayon. But, ganun lang kasimple yan eh. You are an impeachment court and hindi naman isa ang nagdidesisyon. Majority. Kung baga, magbubutuhan din sila. Kung hawak mo majority, hindi kung anong sabihin ng majority, yun ang masusunod. Pag sinabi, hindi, walang batayan tong komplento, dismiss na natin to. Trabaho na lang tayo as a legislative body, hindi sa impeachment court. Tingnan natin kung anong gagawin nila.
Yes, Attorney Sal. Kasi may parang 3 araw pa na hihintayin. Pero necessary po ba, Attorney Sal, na hihintayin pa yung 3 araw bago mag-decide yung Supreme Court regarding dun sa petition ng TRO?
Ang Supreme Court nagbigay ng... kasi hindi, ano bang tinutukoy mo? Kasi dalawang uri ng petition. Yung naunang petition kay Presidente Duterte na 1 taon at 2 buwan ang nakabinbin at yung bago na naman petisyon. Ito naman kay...
Busy yung Korte Suprema, no? Busy sila. Marami silang pinagkakaabalahan dyan.
Senator
Bato. Sabi ng Korte Suprema dito sa bagong petisyon, sagutin niyo yan within so much period of time. Sagutin niyo rin yan. Madali sabi, pag nasagot na, sila magdidesisyon kung kailan. But, sabi nga ng Supreme Court sa kanyang resolution, without prejudice to undertaking urgent measures if necessary. Madali sabi, kung gusto nilang patigilin, mag-i-issue sila ng order. Kung sa tingin nila hindi kailangan, hindi sila. Pero, ang panawagan po namin, doon sa petition for a writ of habeas corpus, na isinampa namin ng aking anak na si Attorney Paulo in behalf of Kitty Duterte para sa kanyang ama. Sinabi na po namin sa unang motion namin to resolve, kasi 8 buwan na, hindi pa nare-resolve. Sabi namin, sana po resolusyonan nyo na kasi may mga nakabinbin na issue rito na napakahalaga na maaaring itong sinasabi naming paglabag sa batas ay mauulit na naman sapagkat may nakaambang sinasabing may mandamiento de aresto kay Bato at baka gawin na naman ang ginagawa nila na ginawa nila kay Presidente Duterte. At nangyari na nga. Kaya nag-file na naman kami noong isang araw ng urgent motion to resolve. At sinasabi namin sa Korte Suprema, gaya po ng sinabi namin, baka mangyari, nangyari na nga. At ito ay konsekwensya ng hindi po ninyo pagbigay karaka-raka ng desisyon. Kaya, yan o.
Tayo hindi natin alam kung paano yung queuing ng mga petition dyan sa Korte Suprema. No? Pero ang alam ho natin dito, matagal ho talaga bago magsalita ang ating Korte Suprema. Hindi ko alam. Wag mo maglalakad sila doon bago sila makapunta doon sa parang altar nila talagang ganito sila maglakad. Ganun ba talaga sila? Tagal Baka magalit naman sila sa atin dyan sa... Ika nga, pagka dyan lumabas ang mga desisyon, kahit ano pa yan, dapat respetuhin. Kaya hayaan ho natin sila kasi marami silang kinukonsiderang di ba? Kasi pagka hindi nila pinagbigyan yung kay Bato, ibig sabihin, ang ICC pag naglabas ng arrest warrant, karaka-raka, wala ng local courts para sinusuko ng Korte Suprema yung soberenya ng Pilipinas diyan sa diyan sa ICC. Hindi tayo abogado pero parang ganoon ang dating, di ba? Ang sinasabi ang gusto lang ng mangyari nitong di Senator Bato, padaanin niyo sa sa local courts. Yun lang naman. Di ba? TRO muna, wag muna nang implement yan sa local courts muna. Yun lang gustong mangyari ni Senator Bato. Pagka duman sa local courts, i-exhaust lahat ng legal remedies. Kung talagang nagkasala, kailangan ipadala sa daig, yun ang gagawin. Kaso ang problema, pagka hindi pinagbigyan yung TRO nitong si Senator Bato, parang sinasabi ng Korte Suprema, hindi ko alam. Kasi hindi tayo abogado. Diba? Si Atty. Salvador Panelo ang abogado, ito si Atty. Ferdinand Topacio. Ang dating, para sinusuko natin ang ating sige ICC, pag naglabas kayo ng dito, okay na yan, wala na kaming pakialam kahit ano pang gawin niyo dyan. Diba? Parang ganun ang datingan
Pakiusap sa Korte Suprema na sana po i-resolve nyo na kasi may mga nakabinbin na mandamiento de aresto kay Bongo, kay Danao, kay Albayalde at kung sino-sino pa na sinasabing co-conspirator. Kasi kung sinasabi ng ICC na yung kanilang warrant of arrest na inisyo kay Bato ay nung isang taon pa, November 6 pa, kaya lang hindi unsealed, kumbaga sealed, nakatago pa. Kung ang teorya nila, co-conspirator yung 7 pa, parang 8 sila bakit naman si Bato lang ang i-issue ng warrant of arrest? Lahat yan meron na. Hindi lang inilalabas. Kaya napakahalaga talaga ng Korte Suprema na magbigay na ng resolusyon, either or, whether legal ba o hindi. Kung legal, kailangan hindi na, tatahimik na lang tayo, tatanggapin natin ang desisyon ng Korte Suprema kung tama yung ginawa ng gobyerno. Pero kung illegal, di gagawa na sila ng mga kautusan sa gobyerno ito na tigilan na nila kung hindi mananagot sila. Hindi po ba? Yun lang ang hinihingi namin.
Ayan, maraming salamat po, Atty. Sal. Samantala, dako po tayo sa ibang issue. Pero kaugnay pa rin to sa ICC. Dahil sa sinabing pahayag ng DOJ or ng Department of Justice na pinapayagan na umiiral na batas sa Pilipinas ang pagsuko kay Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa sa International Criminal Court kung kinakailangan. Ayon sa tagapagsalita nila na si Paulo Martinez, nakasaad sa Republic Act 9851 itong Philippine Act on Crimes Against International Humanitarian Law, Genocide and Other Crimes Against Humanity na maaari daw isuko o extradite ng gobyerno itong isang taong hinaharap ang International Court o Tribunal. Sinabi rin ng DOJ na pareho rin yung kanilang naging posisyon sa kaugnay sa posibilidad ng pagpapatupad ng ICC arrest warrant laban kay De La Rosa na iniugnay nga nung sa kaso ni dating Pangulong Pangulong Duterte. Gayunman, tumanggi muna ang DOJ na magbigay ng detalye hinggil sa mga susunod na hakbang dahil kabilang ang posibleng papel ng NBI at kung kinakailangan ba ng utos mula sa lokal na korte. Dagdag din ni Martinez, attorney, na makakabuting hintayin muna ang magiging desisyon ng Korte Suprema sa mga motion na ginawa na po, yung nabanggit po ninyo kanina, at na kumuy question nga sa jurisdiction ng ICC laban sa kanila. Ginamit na naman nila yung batas, Attorney Sal, na Republic Act 9851 na pwedeng or maaaring maisuko ng pamahalaan kung sinong individual na may kasong kinakaharap sa International Court o Tribunal, Attorney Sal. Ano pong inyong komento dito?
Unang-una, kung nakapile kasi ng habeas corpus kagad, maaaring hindi na nangyari yun. Nangyari ng ilang araw na dyan sa Senado. Kasi yung mga pinail na petition, matagal bago ma-resolve yun. And most likely, yung hinihingi mong TRO, hindi ka pagbibigyan. Samantala kung habeas corpus ang pinail mo, sa loob ng 24 oras, action kagad ng Korte Suprema. So, mali yung pinail na petisyon. At mungkain na tayo kay Senator Bato, pati sa abogado niya nung isang gabi, na mag-file na kayo ng petition for writ of habeas corpus para ma-resolve na kagad ang legal issue. Kasi pag habeas corpus ang pinail mo, a-action kagad ang Supreme Court. Tatawagin yung nagbabanta o nagsasagawa ng pagsira ng iyong kalayaan. At saka yung biktima. O malalaman na ngayon doon, bakit mo ba? Kasi yung ang feeling kasi ng ibang abogado, paano ka magpapile ng habeas corpus? Hindi naman nakadetain. hindi naman tinatanggalan ng kalayaan ng paggalaw yan. It's not being deprived of his liberty. Ang sagot ko po doon, ano bang tawag mo dyan? Sabi ko kay Bato Senator Bato, ikaw ba makakalabas dito? Hindi. Exactly. Nakadetain ka na rito You're in detention. You cannot get out of this building because there is a threatened arrest. So, madaling sabi, pwede ka nang tumakbo sa Korte Suprema, mag-habeas corpus ka na ma-resolve na yan. Kasi yung mga ibang petisyon, matagal pa yan. Yan ang unang mali sa tingin ko. Sana pero hindi pa naman. Pwede pa naman sila mag-file ngayong araw na ito. Dapat nga kahapon pa hindi natin alam kung may file na. Pangalawa, yung invocation nila ng 9851 Republic Act, kung saan, ang sinasabi doon, kung may iniimbestigahan kang crime against humanity at meron nag-iimbestigang isang foreign tribunal, maaari mong itigil ang investigasyon mo at pwede mong isuko ang iniimbestigahan mo. O kaya naman, ipatupad mo yung extradition treaty. Ito, sagot natin doon. Kasi yan ang posisyon ng gobyerno Ang problema sa inyo, hindi nyo binabasa yung provision na ini-invoke ninyo. Ang nakalagay doon, habang totoo na sinasabi ng pwede mong isuko at pwede mong gamitin ang extradition, nakalagay po sa una pa lang nakalagay doon, in the interest of justice, or if the interest of justice requires. Ibig ko sabihin, kung ito ba ay hinihingi ng katarungan na isuko mo ang akusado, pwede. O ang tanong, is it in the interest of justice? Yung ba ay nasa interest ng katarungan pag sinuko mo ang isang mamamayang Pilipino sa isang foreign tribunal na walang jurisdiction sa atin? Sa isang krimen na ginanap na rito against a Filipino, tapos tatapon mo doon sa mga judges doon na walang kaalam-alam sa nangyayari dito sa atin? Doon pa lang, in the interest of justice, kulatilya na yung kondisyon yon na pwede mo lang gawin yon. Hindi lamang yon. At sabi pa doon sa provision na yon na ini-invoke nila, kung isusuko mo kailangan naaayon in accordance with law and the extradition. Ano ba sinasabi ng extradition? At ano ba sinasabi ng batas? Kailangan pumunta ka muna sa hukuman. Bakit ba takot na takot kayo pumunta sa hukuman? Palibasa kasi, alam nyo, na mali, wala kayong legal basis, kaya ayaw nyo dumaan sa hukuman. Gusto nyo na lang ipatupad ang illegal na warrant of arrest. Di ba? O yan o, wala namang ibang pagningin o pananaw at konklusyon ang makukuha mo kung hindi mo titingnan yan. Kahit yung batas na yan, sinasabi, in the interest of justice. Is it in the interest of justice that you surrender a Filipino citizen committing a crime against a fellow Filipino in this country to a foreign tribunal composed of judges that do not know what is happening in this country? Definitely, it's not in the interest of justice. Walang justice doon. Tapos sinasabi pa doon, sige, suko mo. Pero kailangan na ayon sa batas. O ano man sinasabi ng batas. Kailangan pumasok ka sa hukuman. O. Kaya hindi po pwedeng gamitin nila yun. Pwede nilang gamitin. Basta sagutin mo muna yung kondisyon ng dalawa.
Ayan. Ayan, maraming salamat po, Attorney Sal, sa...
Ayun na nga mga kababayan, dito na natatapusin ang ating reaction video. Mag-ingat po ang lahat, mahal natin Pilipinas. Bottom line dito, wala na ho si Senado, si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Palakpakan. Di ba? Yun importante doon eh. Di ba?